Hi, it's Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, and I'm back with my plans and pans. You may be able to see that I am sitting at my desk with this fabulous view of the Capitol Dome behind me. I'm inspired every day that I'm here in Washington in my office when I see that. And I am really anxious to talk to you about some of the issues that are on our agenda right now. So it's really quite remarkable what is happening on reproductive rights. What we have seen is that Arizona now, the Supreme Court there, has certified a piece of legislation from 1864. They weren't even a state yet. And that legislation prohibited abortions. And they're now using it right now in Arizona. Well, fortunately, their attorney general has said that she's not going to enforce that new rule, but we'll see. So the battle goes on. But we also heard from Donald Trump and his plans on abortion rights. And while he said that he believes that every state ought to make a decision, that's the condition we're in right now. And right now, still millions of women are deprived of abortion rights. But the truth of the matter is that the demand for a total ban is what I see prevailing if Donald Trump becomes president of the United States. So I worry about that, of course. Now, there is also, right now in Florida, they passed legislation that after 6 weeks of pregnancy, that abortion would be illegal. And that actually is ready to go into effect. But on the other hand, what's happening in Florida is that there will be, that's been approved, on the ballot, a vote that people can take, all the voters can take, that would change that altogether and say that the Supreme Court would have to allow abortions, and it would take a 60% vote for that to happen. I am convinced that in Florida that there is going to be enough organizing around this issue to say that Floridians want to have reproductive rights. And if you look around the country, I think it's fair to say that we are a pro-choice nation. Let's remember when Ruby Red, Kansas, that is, it is mostly a Republican state, had a chance to vote on the issue of reproductive rights. Overwhelmingly, the voters said they wanted to make sure that they had those rights. They didn't want politicians to decide what you can or cannot do with your own bodies if you're a woman, or even families saying, you're not going to tell us when and if to have children. This is not something for politicians to decide. In Alabama, where the state is going after both in vitro fertilization and abortion, there was an opportunity, once again, for voters to weigh in, and a woman who is pro-choice won in Alabama in the state legislature. Her name is Marilyn Lands, and she won pretty overwhelmingly to take a seat in the legislature there. So, when given a chance to vote, I think that we do see that people make the decision in favor of rights, including reproductive rights. After about 4 years of work, trying to make sure that you feel safe online, that is, that your information is being bought and sold, your most personal information, that you want to be certain that our children are not exploited online. Big tech has had its way. It now looks like we're on the verge of getting a comprehensive data privacy bill. We're going to have a hearing in my subcommittee, and I'm looking forward to it. The chairman of that subcommittee is supportive, and more importantly, we have the chairman of the full committee in the House and the chairman of the committee in the Senate that is working to pass a privacy bill. So I am so excited that even with not that much time left to go in this session of Congress, that we have an opportunity, and I'm going to be working as hard as I can to make sure that privacy, finally overdue, is protected in the United States of America. What we're seeing right now is a number of states are having their own privacy bills. They're different in each different state. We need a national bill. So I am very hopeful that we're going to be able to move forward now. 86% of Americans are concerned about protecting data online. So let's get it done. This week, I introduced into the House of Representatives legislation, along with Bernie Sanders in the Senate, called the Corporate Tax Dodger Prevention Act. Sound good to you? What this legislation says is that we're going to close all the corporate tax loopholes that allow the wealthiest corporations to be able to dodge paying the taxes that they owe, the taxes that they should be paying right now. One of the things that this bill does is to stop corporations from having tax loopholes by sheltering their profits into tax havens like the Cayman Islands. Another provision would disallow tax breaks to corporations who ship jobs overseas. I'm looking forward to this. It's fairness, and it means a lot of money. In 10 years, this legislation could raise $1 trillion that could be put to much better use, perhaps even lowering your taxes. I was so pleased this week in Washington, D.C. to welcome the winner in the 9th Congressional District of the Congressional App Challenge. This is for high school students to come up with an app that is useful somehow in our country, in our families. The winner was Ali. He lives in Prospect Heights, and he goes to John Hersey High School. And his family, his mom, his dad, and 2 of his brothers were there. And he told us about his project, and it is called Zone Maze. And the purpose of it is to help people with ADD, attention deficit disorder. And that is something that one of his brothers has. So he showed me the different things that are on the app. It has good news of the day and positive quotes. It has music that you can listen to soothe you and, bring it down a bit, reminders to focus. So I really admire Ali for doing something like this. It's an amazing effort, but also because he's doing it on behalf of his brother and other people who I think this is going to be able to help. This week also, I had the opportunity to be with my daughter, Lauren Travers, who lives in Queens and is a teacher in Queens, and she brought 4 of her students for a trip through Washington, D.C. These 4 students are of junior high age, and I was able to take the 4 of them on the floor of the House, a very busy time on the floor. They got to meet Nancy Pelosi and a number of other members of Congress and get a good close-up look. It was exciting for them and for me as well. This week is the beginning of Black Maternal Health Care Week. And this is very important because Black women are 3 times as likely to die for complications from pregnancy and delivery. And so we want to focus on that problem. I look forward to it. That's it for this week for me. I look forward to seeing you next week, and I will be sure to keep you posted on the doings in the Congress. Thank you for watching my video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where my handle is @Jan Schakowsky.